What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Undrafted and Overconfident podcast on a Monday, November 24th, 2025. I'm Jason Semko. With me, Brandon Bigo Gordon.
Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, Simcoe.
It is that week, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving episode.
I'm excited. This is fun. I like holidays. I love Thanksgiving. And I couldn't find a better first holiday to kind of do our show.
Yeah. I mean, it circles around things that we love. Football, food, and family. But I got to ask, man, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? What's going on in Casa de Semco?
We were planning on my wife's brother his wife has a large family all around like the Goochland, Richmond area.
By the way, terrible name for a town. Goochland?
Yeah, I didn't think that one through.
My wife is the most prim and proper person I've ever met, but every time she drives by a sign that says Goochland, she's like, who would live in Goochland?
It's a beautiful part of the state, though.
It is.
If you get past the like two prisons you got to drive through.
Yeah,
but
that's where all the gooch is right there.
Yep. Prison.
So you're gonna go visit some fam?
Well, we were. It's my brother-in-law's wife. It's a large family. It's 40 to 50 people.
They make tables big enough for that?
Yes, they actually have someone's house somehow can fit in multiple rooms. Just about everybody.
It's like the human centipede of kitchen tables just weaving through that house.
I've seen some pictures of the table. It probably does hold like 35 people. Probably the adults, and then the kids would go sit somewhere else.
Okay.
Quite a scene. I've met maybe half of those people. All lovely. And my wife, before we met, had gone and done that Thanksgiving, and she's just kind of says it's a lot and loud, and of course you'd figure that with like 40 to 50 people. And so we just decided, I work a lot leading up to Thanksgiving. We've got a couple days off, Thursday, Friday. So we're actually just going to keep it quiet. My wife and my little dog, Joanna, my little dachshund.
Oh, yes.
We're just going to have a nice, quiet Thanksgiving.
Are you guys going to make a bird? You're going to do the full meal, or you're just going to treat it as like a little thankfulness with the fam? Doesn't have to be anything huge. Don't have to be slaving over a stove all day.
The usual suspects. Got like a 6 to 7 pound turkey breast.
Okay.
Gonna smoke that thing.
Nice.
So excited for that. And then we're gonna do like some mashed potatoes, green beans. My wife likes stuffing. Gonna do a little stuffing. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, you get the usual suspects.
Yeah.
That's fine. You started out with what would be my absolute nightmare of a Thanksgiving holiday. 40 to 50 people, just absolute chaos. Everybody's talking over each other. I couldn't even hear the person next to me. That sounds like a fresh nightmare for old Bigos. So I'm glad you went the way that Bigos go. We're going in the complete opposite direction. We are literally going up to the mountains, my family and I, and we are just going to be hiking, and we're going to be unplugged, probably no cell service, and we're just going to disconnect from the world. And that's what we're doing for Thanksgiving.
That sounds awesome.
Incredible, right? Yeah, we're going up to the Shenandoahs. Staying up there in the lodges. There's one lodge, Skyland. Shout out Skyland. Maybe future sponsor. Who knows?
That'd be nice.
They stay up just the weekend after Thanksgiving. So we're staying up, going up for Thanksgiving. We're staying for the weekend. We'll just get as many hikes in as we can. The restaurant's open through the weekend. And we just, again, very little cell service. Oh, you can't get a hold of me. Oh, yeah, I had no cell service. I'm sorry. And we did a mini Thanksgiving last weekend with the extended fam.
Okay. Very nice.
So, yeah. 40 and 50 people just sounds like punishment.
Yeah, it was enough growing up. I think we had maybe like 12 to 15 people running around, and yeah, that got to be too loud and too much, and spending a whole day, you're just ready to leave by that. And multiply that by like 4. Oof.
And 4 times 100 uncomfortable conversations with distant relatives that are just asking you incredibly invasive questions that they are just trying to catch up on years of I haven't seen you into a 1-hour dinner.
And this would be having to meet just about 25 to 30 people for the first time.
Yeah.
So
it'd be like speed dating.
What do I do for a living? What do I like to do?
Just could there be a worse question at Thanksgiving? You should just have a game of it, and every person you think of a new ridiculous occupation. Like, what do you do? Lion tamer. I'm a lion tamer.
Have a different accent with different people.
It's like, would you like some turkey? A little Borat, maybe? Or something, completely off the cuff. But now that you kind of went down the path of, what Thanksgiving was like when you were growing up, what was your favorite part? Growing up, what was the nostalgia piece for you that you were like, man, this is what Turkey Day is all about?
It was the turkey.
It was the turkey. It's
the food, the mashed potatoes and gravy, and then the fruit salad. Love my relatives to death that they would basically just make for me.
You big fruit. You just love yourself some fruit salad.
I ate at least 3/4 of that thing.
It's like, ooh, is that honeydew? Yum, yum, yum.
No. No apples, mandarin oranges, golden raisins.
Golden raisins. None of these, brownish raisins
You
for
can't
old
have
Semco.
that in a
I want that
fruit
golden.
salad.
I want that color pop.
That sweetness.
Ooh, okay.
And then you throw in some marshmallows.
Marshmallows in a fruit salad.
Yup.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now you're spicing up. Not really, because marshmallow is 0 spice, but yeah.
Pineapple.
Pineapple, okay. Getting a little citrus, getting a little...
Now you're starting to see it's really not that bad.
I mean, it's very colorful, I suppose.
Tastes great.
Yeah, it's very sweet. It sounds incredibly sweet.
Probably the only why I was the one that really just ate it, because I'm about the only one that could probably handle that.
Yeah, all that puckering. Yeah, you're eating that fruit salad. Well, I mean, the turkey's great, food's great, but no, growing up for me, Thanksgiving was always football. Football, getting to watch football all freaking day. Game during, lunch, game during mid-afternoon, then game in the evening. Getting to watch football the entire day. That's why Thanksgiving is the perfect holiday. It's food and it's football. And then you sprinkle in some family there. I mean, there's no, did I get the right gift? Or, okay, everybody's running down now that I have kids at like 5 a.m. trying to open presents while I'm still trying to wake up. It's the best holiday by far. The other thing that I loved growing up, which I wish we could bring back, but at the same time, I don't know if our knees can take it anymore, is the Turkey Bowl. You ever play football on Thanksgiving with your buddies? Like, you get the team, you get the group, you get everybody out there, and you just, it's...
Tackle
maybe it
football.
starts out as two-hand, but then it comes into full blows, clotheslines, hip, what do they call it, hip drag tackles?
It doesn't end until somebody goes to the hospital.
Somebody's limping off, a little bumped, a little bruised, maybe a little bloody. But
I always did look forward to that because, I played a lot of soccer, basketball, not really super contact sports, and I just really wanted to just hit somebody.
Yeah.
And so just waiting for some guy to come across the middle or just run at me and just get my one chance to just pop somebody.
Just let out all that Semco aggression that you've been pent up inside.
And I loved it.
I bet you did. The other person, maybe not so much.
No, not at all. But it was what I was looking for, so I got what I wanted out of it.
But I mean, just a hour and a half of wailing on each other. You earned that turkey dinner. You earned it.
That was definitely the best part. I'd say I only did that a couple times. That was mostly around college. But we did one time play, probably about 13 years old, and there were 4 of us cousins, boys. One was younger than me, one was the same age, and one was a year older. And it was like a 2-on-2. My cousin that lived in Virginia with me, we really didn't care for the other 2 cousins, and they didn't really care for us either.
Animosity, all right.
A little
Where were the
bit.
other cousins from? Where were they from?
One was in Maryland, and one was in Pennsylvania.
Maryland versus Virginia. There's a history there.
There was just more to it than just cousins playing.
No,
it was
geography. Yeah.
Maryland. But yeah, we love each other. I mean, we're family, but we didn't really have the same. We had a lot of differences, likes and dislikes, and just kind of didn't really like each other.
Don't dance around. You want to rip their heads off. That's fine.
Absolutely. Oh, that game, people were diving on the asphalt to make catches.
Yeah.
And we came out victorious. And it was the best Thanksgiving it could have been.
Yeah, that turkey tasted that much.
Just staring at those other cousins
much more moist. And
great.
I hate that word, but that's the only word that I can think of right now.
Right when you're staring them down too.
Yeah, it's like
moist.
It's worse when you say it for some reason. So other than moist turkey and some fruity, fresh and tooty salad that you had, what were some other did you have any random dishes that you had growing up or now? Is there anything that you're like, I'm bringing this to the Thanksgiving table that nobody else is bringing? What am I bringing?
I think for the last few years we had mac and cheese.
Okay.
I think we've done like the Kraft, but then I think my wife has baked some macaroni and cheese for it.
Okay.
And it came out really good. But man, after you have the mashed potatoes, green beans,
so much
turkey,
starch, so filling.
there's so much left over. Yeah. It's just not worth
mac and
it.
cheese for weeks.
But growing up, I can't quite remember if there really was anything other than we're a very traditional family, I think.
Yes.
So it was all the traditional courses.
Yeah, I don't know if I had anything untraditional, but the thing that always confused me, and I swear to God, my parents were just playing a trick on me. It's like every year they would do a sweet potato dish. But as you know, there's sweet potatoes and then there's yams. And I'm like, oh, look, it's yams. Like, no, these are sweet potatoes, you dummy. And then next year I'd be like, oh, sweet potato? They're like, no, yams. And I'm like, oh my God, which one is? I don't know the difference. They're both sweet potatoes.
I'm convinced there really isn't a difference.
They just like
Marketing.
with me. Yeah, marketing.
Big Potato is just
Big
playing
sweet.
a game on us.
Again, they're like, okay, we need to spice up the sweet potato. Let's call it yams for the folks.
It's like, oh, you want to do something different? Don't do yams. Do sweet potatoes.
Stop mixing me up.
You're just going to buy the same stuff.
Yeah. The other thing that we've added, because you know where I'm from, you know where my family's from, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving without a corn dish of some kind. So you know we got to bring that corn up in here. And a little cream corn on the cob.
That sounds terrible for
Delicious.
Thanksgiving.
It's just, it goes perfectly with everything else. It just blends in. It's light. It's not as heavy. It's perfect. It's a perfect addition. I'm going to make you some. You're going to have it for Thanksgiving, and you're going to thank me for it.
Don't want it. Don't want anything from that boring state.
Well, that's hurtful.
And by the way, I just want to let you know, how does it feel losing to Penn State?
I mean, come on. We both agreed beforehand that this was a tickle bowl. There's a reason we didn't talk about this game last week because it meant next to nothing for either of us. My starting quarterback is out. Mahomes is out. He's out. He's not playing. And we're bowl eligible. Losing to you would mean nothing to us. We're still going to go to a second-rate bowl game. And you guys are not going to go to a bowl. So congrats. Get the pat on the back. You got the dub for a pointless game that means absolutely nothing.
But it just gives more ammo for me letting you know that my school is still better than yours.
All right, that's not how I remember when we actually went to a game in Happy Valley. Do you want to go down that memory lane?
That's another game I believe Pennsylvania State University won.
No, it didn't.
Really?
Nebraska won, absolutely.
No way!
Yes, it did. Okay, bring back the history. Like, we absolutely won because I was like, this is awkward. I'm wearing Nebraska stuff, and I'm surrounded by the enemy. Clap, clap, clap. Remember, we did a prayer at the freaking midfield. All you remember about that trip is being furious at me because I almost made us miss the game.
TV is on. Lights are just flickering everywhere in your room. I can't get in the door. I'm throwing stuff at your window. We need to go up to Penn State from Virginia.
How long is that drive?
It was like 6.5 hours.
That's a drive.
Throwing stuff at your window. Can't get. I called you
just
probably
like a
30
needy
times.
Ex, like, come to the window. Tink, tink. Just throwing rocks at my window. I was like, geez, man.
Ready to break the window.
Yeah, you were ready to smash.
And then left. And
then I called you back. I was like, where'd you go? What's the deal? Why'd you leave?
I really didn't want to turn around. If I had been to a game before, I would not have turned around.
Man, you were, the first 2 or 3 hours, I don't
Salty.
think you talked to me. Yeah.
No, I did not. I didn't want to the whole time.
But hey, in true Bigo fashion,
we got there.
We got there.
Just on time.
We saw kickoff. I mean, it was perfect. I mean, it always works out for old Bigo.
Yeah, we even took a detour, decided to go a route through the woods that no one else was taking.
That
but
was cool because there was so much traffic. I was like, this is boring. I hate traffic. Let's go.
My little Civic going through
Zoom,
dirt
zoom.
roads.
That's right.
Up and down mountains.
It's exciting and scenic. You're welcome. Are you looking? Give me that stat. What happened?
Nebraska won.
Oh, no.
17-14.
Oh, look at that. Yes, we walked into Happy Valley and made it sad. It was a sad day.
Well, it was already a very sad day because that was actually the first game after Joe Paterno's death.
Okay, geez, way to just put a dour moment in there. That's why we were doing the prayer at the midfield.
Yeah.
Ron Brown, our running backs coach, led that prayer. I remember that.
That was a very nice gesture. I As much as I wish I could say 100% negative things about Nebraska, you all do probably have the nicest fan base in the country.
It's hard for you to admit it, as it is for most people, but yes, we are a classy bunch.
I do appreciate that, actually.
Yeah.
That was, because we were sitting with Nebraska fans, and I had my Penn State stuff on, and they were all nothing but nice.
Yeah. They're like, hey, good luck there, eh? And they're not from Minnesota. I don't know where that accent. Well, Nebraskans, they don't really have an accent. We don't have an accent. I don't know. We just talk normally. We just add corn every fourth word. Or like, how you doing, corn? It's good to see you, corn. That's all we do.
What kind of corn did you have for lunch today?
Yeah.
How'd you cook it?
Yeah. It's over a bed of rice. Corn and rice, they go together.
Yeah, I have that.
Corn goes with everything. Let's just be real. This is a lot of corn talk for this podcast.
Too much corn talk.
We need to
move on.
Well, we're in the Thanksgiving spirit, right? It's the Thanksgiving episode. So I got to ask you, on a sports mindset, what you're thankful for. But before we get that onto that, I do want to say there is one more thing I am thankful for, and it is for, obviously, our lovely listeners. I do want to give a special shout-out to one very special listener that I'm very thankful for, Mr. Papa Hunter. Give it up for Papa Hunter. He just had a pretty invasive procedure done, and he's ever stronger for it. I remember, and I'm thankful for the times when he would come and visit me and his doting son, Seabear, out in CNU, and he always took me out to dinner. Like a forlorn, lost child, he'd take me to dinner with the fam, treated me like one of the Hunter clan. Very fair, very welcoming, and he was a hilarious dude. I love talking with Papa Hunter.
Yeah, it was always great talking with him whenever he'd come visit. When Seabear and I lived together for a year, go to Waterman's Crossing in Newport News.
Waterman's Crossing.
So it was always great to see Mr. Hunter come down and, would take us out and tell us some good stories. And it was just always a great time.
Yeah, and I can tell you something Papa Hunter's really thankful for. It's that new Virginia Tech Hokies head coach, James Theodore Franklin. Don't know if Theodore's his middle name, but we're going to go with it.
I like it. And that does lead me to what I'm first thankful for.
Oh, okay.
Because I am thankful that he is no longer Penn State's head coach.
Oh, sour grapes.
And I am double thankful, though, because two of our friends, Ill Will and Seabear, gigantic Virginia Tech fans.
Huge.
And have had nothing but awful things to say about James Franklin. Can't stand him as a person. Can't stand him as a coach. And now he's yours.
I disagree. I think Ill Will's a little torn. He's like, I don't like the guy, but I kind of like what he could do for us. And let's be honest, I talked about this in our first episode, and you need to give me my flowers, because I called that son of a gun, keeping it clean.
Wow,
right?
professional.
I'm working on it, right? Yeah, ooh la la. Although I did get two of our listeners say, I want more swearing. And I'm like, I can't win here. What is going on?
Can't please everybody.
No, geez. People pleaser. I'm trying to please everyone.
That's all you can do.
But did call the James Franklin hire to Virginia Tech. So 1 for 1 so far on the coaching carousel. Eager to go 2 for 2 once Lane Kiffin writes on that dotted line for LSU. Get that $90 mil contract.
How could he not sign that?
It's going to happen.
Yeah. 2 for 2. I will.
See
the Lane Kiffin seemed a little easy. The James Franklin, though, that one was pretty impressive. And I do also, though, still feel bad for Virginia Tech, because you are just going to get Frank Beamer reincarnated. I don't know if Franklin's going to get the goiter going.
Wow, is that part of the initiation of being a Hokie head coach?
Might as well, because you're going to have really good teams.
Is it because
you're going to have a lot of success?
Is it because their mascot's a turkey? They got to have the turkey neck?
Yeah. Probably part of the negotiations. Okay. Franklin had to agree, maybe not year one, but kind of get something going by year two.
Build it up.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a little bit of bitterness from you, because you know exactly what's going to happen is that Franklin has a very keen eye for the talent in the DMV. And he'd been sending that up to Penn State, and now he's going to keep it closer to home. So all that fancy little talent you were getting up in Happy Valley from the DMV, the tri-state area, no more. Franklin's going to keep him in state.
I am a little worried about that, and he will grab the talent from the 757 Southern Virginia area, which is kind of what got Frank Beamer. That's where Michael Vick, Marcus Vick was from.
Don't put Marcus Vick in the same cycle as Michael Vick. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. That's disrespectful to Michael.
Don't call him Mike Vick. You make Seabear's skin crawl. Doesn't like calling him Mike Vick.
We call him Michael?
Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
It's Michael Vick.
Michael Vick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Only when he's dogfighting, then he's Mike Vick. Mike
Or,
Vick, the
or
dogfighter.
Ron Mexico.
Ron Mexico. I like it.
Wasn't that his, I think that was the name he'd use? His alias?
No, this is the first I've heard of
You
this.
never heard of that?
Ron Mexico?
I think when he
That's
would-
a terrible alias. Everybody, that's a fake name if I've ever heard one.
I think that's why I remember it, because it's such a bad name.
It's pretty bad.
Walks up to the front counter. Hi, I'm Ron Mexico.
You're like, your
Looking-
name is Ron Mexico. Yeah. My parents are from Mexico.
Yeah, I'm not going to fly.
Yeah.
They're from Mexico.
They're
That's
gonna
my last
shoot that-
name.
That's right. It's my last name. It's where I'm from. But no, Franklin, I think is going to be a great hire. I think that honestly, as long as Tech stays in the ACC
Yep.
and Franklin's their head coach, they'll be fighting for championships every year.
They'll be fighting for an ACC championship.
That's what I mean. ACC championship.
They're going to do exactly what last year it happened to SMU and Clemson. Whatever team gets the 11 seed, I guess that's the ACC seed, 11, they're going to lose in the first round of the college football playoffs every single year. And then I'm going to have to sit here and hear the hype.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, they could do it this year. They got all the talent.
Yeah, it's like James Franklin's going to take them to the next level. And it's like, oh, Penn State didn't make the playoffs, but James Franklin did with this new team.
And they're going to get bounced in the first round every time.
Hey. I mean, right now, they'll take a bounced first-round playoff
Oh, yeah.
than what they've got going on right now.
I mean, losing to ODU on almost an annual basis.
Yeah, I think that stops. I think that stops immediately, year one with James Franklin.
Probably. He will get some portal guys. He'll probably steal a bunch of players from Penn State. I'm sure there's a lot of spite towards Penn State. So he's already probably been in contact with a lot of those players.
Oh, easily. I think they already said that, like, the people that had originally said they were going to go to Penn State, I think there were like 21 that are like, we're going to Hokieville, going to Blacksburg.
I can't wait to hear that hype train.
Choo-choo. All aboard. Well, on the topic of things I'm thankful and my pride and my ego that goes along with it, the other thing I'm super prideful for is fantasy sports, and especially fantasy football, because somebody is about to claim first place in our fantasy football league. But whom could that be? Can't put my finger. Oh, wait, I am. I'm touching myself because I am going to be first place after knocking out first place and leapfrogging a certain Semco sitting across from me.
I'll be honest, it took you long enough.
Wow, okay.
My team's been struggling for Lord knows how long.
Oh, wow. So you're not even going to give me my flowers. You're not going to give me my due.
Absolutely not.
You're just going to say, well, I'm not playing as good as I should, so that's why I'm not
Yeah,
first.
that's what it is every single time.
Lies. You just can't take it, man.
Your team is okay this year.
My team's incredible.
I've seen better. With your luck, you possibly will win.
No, it's not possibly. It's probably. I'm going to get that first round bye, watch you guys bicker as you guys just try and fight to be a sacrificial lamb to the pedestal of Bigo. I'll take what's rightfully mine. I will take my belt back.
I'm thankful that this past year you didn't win our fantasy championship.
Shocker,
belt.
you're thankful I don't enjoy the winnings.
Yes, I don't want to see anybody but me have success.
Okay. So it's not just I don't want Bigo to win.
Well,
I don't want anyone to win.
I'd rather anybody in the league win except for you, because when you win, you have had the worst teams that have ever won a championship.
So that sounds like good management. It sounds like good coaching. I took the most out of a mediocre team and took it to a championship.
I'm still not sure what deal you made with who, pact with the devil or something, because how you luck box into consistently having the team that you're playing have one of their worst weeks on like a 3-year stretch, I don't get it. I don't know what happened. I don't know how this works. Your team's not good. Nathan Eovaldi was your best pitcher last year.
He was good too.
You almost won the damn thing.
You're sleeping on my bats. You're sleeping on all my bats.
I don't care, but that's the thing.
Vlad Guerrero.
Okay.
I had your favorite, the big dumper on my team.
No, your hitters actually were championship caliber.
Championship.
But that's the thing. You would then somehow have these pitchers who are god awful all year for 3 weeks.
Not a journeyman.
That once the playoffs start, all of a sudden, I don't know, less than 2 ERA, striking out everybody. Everybody gets a win somehow, some way.
I mean, I know how to cultivate a winning team.
No, you don't. Teams have been garbage.
You know, all those pictures of me hoisting the belt and placing the belt lovingly across my bare naked chest. I mean, those say otherwise. Those say that I do know what I'm doing, and I do know how to create a winner. Because winners make winners, Semco. When was the last time you had the belt?
I think I won football a few years ago.
A few years ago, yeah. A few years ago. A decade ago.
No,
probably.
no, it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I think I won baseball 4 years ago.
Okay.
Or vice versa. Flip those ones, maybe.
Yeah. Putting the mantle down now, the gauntlet down now, that I still believe that I was the first trifecta winner of winning 3 straight of hockey, baseball, and football. Not in that order. DW did surpass me, and he did it like 2 years in a row. That was a dark time.
I was
not
awful.
Thankful for that time when Dwight Keys.
Yeah, and you know who he beat in just about every single finals?
Bingo, Mr. Semco just couldn't get over the hurdle there, the Dwight hurdle.
I still struggle to sleep at night because of it.
Yeah,
and Dwight doesn't seem to want to let me forget about that,
no,
or
what a
us forget
shocker.
about that.
Of course he wouldn't. No.
But we have actually commiserated on one thing, though.
What's that?
You.
How much you love me?
No. How lucky you get.
Oh, come on.
We talk too much about you.
That's what feeds me, man. I know. I can feel it.
And just how lucky your team gets. All of a sudden, you pick up. I can't believe Mike Trout didn't win MVP last year. Like, I don't know. Maybe your luck has finally run out. Maybe 2 years ago.
Well, you keep stealing my luck. You keep stealing my luck.
I'm stealing your name in my team.
You put my name in your team name to try and glean some of that Bigo juice.
And I've had nothing but success. I play almost a team that has the worst scorer every week. I see how you do it now.
No, see, but you're taking my juju. You're taking my
got to do something.
You're taking my Riz. Semco is what you're doing. You're taking my Riz. Stop taking my Riz.
You're not Riz.
Oh,
I'm Riz.
you're Riz. You're King Riz.
You can be my queen.
You're the okay. You're the Rizinator. Other thing that I'm thankful for, especially in our group of friends, I'm thankful for the hashtag Dwight curse. I love the Dwight curse. It's my favorite thing in the world because everything that Dwight touches, whether it be professional sports or fantasy sports,
Tyrese Halliburton, you didn't stand a chance.
Dust. I mean, poor Hallie. I mean, like, just getting him to the point, and that's the king of Dwight curse. It's like he gets him to a certain point, and then he just destroys him. Look what he did to Jaden Daniels this year. Dwight curse.
We drafted him first overall in our fantasy football, and that was the kiss of death.
Look at his professional teams. Pacers, Halliburton, Dunsky. One of the worst teams in the league right now.
Yep.
Dolphins, Tyreek, destroyed. Tua, captain concussion.
They haven't made a Super Bowl since Dan Marino in 1985.
And Miami Mike.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. I mean, he every now and then the will of the group gets us past because he's a Caps fan and he did get to see a cup.
There is a little bit of, we had our wonderful Ovechkin argument. Mm-hmm. Maybe there is something that maybe he is a really great player because he's about the only one that Dwight cannot curse.
Can't curse him. Yeah. He gets him every year.
Wins the hockey belt every year. Capitals, they only won the one, but they did win a Stanley Cup.
They did, thank you.
And he doesn't really get hurt, so maybe he really is a great player.
I mean, yeah, he's that good that he can just take in that curse and that bad juju and he can just push past it. Or maybe Dwight's just, his powers of cursing are not, as strong with hockey. Maybe hockey is the one qualifier.
It's not a big enough sport, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it is definitely further below after you get through football, basketball, and baseball. Yeah. I don't even know. Who's his baseball team? Orioles?
Well,
yeah, they've been disappointing.
Yeah, there's your answer right there. I do need to bring back, and hopefully our listeners can bring it back. Send the emails out. Do a hashtag Dwight curse, and something that it would be funny if he cursed. Like, hashtag Dwight curse. Dwight was the only one that said that the Titanic was unsinkable. Hashtag Dwight curse. Or there's no way that Halliburton hurts himself right here. Hashtag Dwight curse. So put it in the emails, send it out. Let's see if we can get some Dwight curse.
I will say one of my favorites that he would do was the last few years put money on Nebraska
God,
to win. And they haven't had the greatest record the last few years.
I would love it if he would stop betting for my team and cursing the bejesus out of
Yeah,
me. That would be great.
When he put money on Penn State to beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship game last year,
you were like, "Oh, this is it."
I almost thought about not even bother watching. And I probably shouldn't have because it was kind of a heartbreaker.
It's exactly what you thought was going to happen. You're like, this looks like I know how this thing goes.
But to kind of piggyback on top of this a little bit, I am thankful as well that the Commanders are not having a good season.
That's an understatement. Probably the understatement of the year. Not having a good season.
I was trying to be polite. It's just that they're having a worse season than the Steelers are.
Okay, so yeah, just relatively, you're like, well, at least we're not the Commanders. Like kind of one of those moves.
I've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle. And for 30 years, I've always been able to lord over my friends.
Okay.
And let them know that, you might have this going on in your life, that going on in your life.
You might drive a fancy car, live in a big house, but your football team sucks.
Mine is always better than yours.
Yeah, except for last year.
And 2012.
Yes.
Those have been 2 tough years.
Yeah.
The only saving grace in both of those years was actually the Steelers played the Commanders and the formerly Redskins that year. The Steelers won both games, so I had that going.
So you're like, you might be better, but we still beat you.
Yes.
Okay.
So it made me feel a little bit better. But yeah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for Commanders to be consistently better than the Steelers.
Well, I mean, I think you've got some time.
It didn't seem like it after last year.
But we talked about this in one of our other episodes where it's just like, was that just divine intervention? We were like giving our dues, like Snyder's gone. We're going to give you this as just an uplifting moment. It's the outlier, not the norm. Because, again, what happened this year, everything that everybody was worried about last year happened this year.
Yeah.
Our old guys got hurt. Our fragile quarterback is fragile. And our decision-making was poopy. So, yeah, everything that we were worried about happened this year. So now we're back to square one. All we have now that we didn't have 2 years ago is our quarterback. And that's it. We're still depleted on both sides of the ball. We don't have any depth. All our guys are at least 32 years old. I think we've got like 30 that are like unrestricted free agents. We're going to have to start from scratch all over again.
It makes me feel so happy.
Yeah. That's the pump the brakes there, kiddo. You still got Aaron Rodgers throwing around, slinging it for what, maybe 1 year tops?
Tomlin will coach him up to have a winning record.
Get out of here. Yeah, a winning record.
Limp into the playoffs.
Yep. And then be...
better than the Commanders.
No, that's not what I was going for. But then be eliminated immediately. They'll be eliminated before the game even ends. At halftime, they'll be like, okay, let's just wrap this up. They're eliminated.
That is the trend that we are on, yes.
Yeah. TJ Watt's not getting any younger, man.
No, we're really going to run into a tough situation, too. Possibly going to fire Tomlin, but as of right now, better position than the Commanders. I can still sit here and say that we've won a Super Bowl last before the Commanders.
All right.
I just feel so good now.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you're thankful for?
Yeah, and I'm going to bring it up because I haven't got a chance to talk about it.
Okay.
We're talking European soccer, buddy.
Oh, yes. I was wondering when we would finally have to drag through this cactus patch.
And don't worry, it's going to correlate a little bit to some American sports that you're familiar with.
Okay.
I'm thankful that if Paris Saint-Germain, PSG for short.
Okay. What's it called? Paris what?
Saint-Germain.
Saint-Germain.
I guess it's French. They're from France.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're with me so far.
Yes. Oui.
Wonderful. You're speaking the language.
Yes. I mean, we.
Maybe you should talk about what happened.
I do not know, so why don't you share with me?
Saudi backed with a bunch of money.
Boo.
Playing the French league. They're by far the best team. They thought that they could just, the last 10 to 15 years, just buy the best players in the world.
Yeah, didn't they have...
They went out and
Neymar?
paid a bunch of money for Neymar. They paid a bunch of money for Lionel Messi. And they paid a bunch of money for Kylian Mbappe.
I forgot that they had Messi. I remember Mbappe and I remember Neymar. I forgot they had Messi.
And basically, Neymar, when he played at Barcelona, used to actually do something.
Barcelona.
He gets to PSG, and because they're just better than everybody, he just stops. His work rate stops. He stops trying, doesn't play defense, doesn't run without the ball. Messi, he's older, but he doesn't do that either. Doesn't play defense. And then they got Kylian Mbappe, who's probably the best player in the world, but he stopped wanting to play defense, stopped wanting to move without the ball. And somehow PSG just thought that they could put those three out there and win.
It's probably, you know what it probably is, when he went to Paris, like his diet consisted of like baguettes, butter, and the cigarettes.
Well, Neymar did put on some pounds, so that probably a little bit of it. Yeah. He liked to party too. Those Brazilians, you got to be careful when they get a little older.
Yeah,
the metabolism isn't quite as quick as it used to be, and they get a little pudgy.
Like Maradona, yeah.
Well, he was Argentinian, but South American. The first Ronaldinho. I digress.
Okay.
But anyway, so they get rid of Neymar. They eventually get rid of Lionel Messi. Comes to the MLS. Mm-hmm. And then literally last year, they got rid of Kylian Mbappe, and he went to Real Madrid. And just like when Bryce Harper left the Nationals, PSG, as a team, wins their first ever Champions League.
Without any of those superstars.
And it was like they tried to do it, yes, because they tried to do it like the Nets did when they got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden.
Yeah.
Did you really think you could win with those three that don't want to play any defense, don't want to move without the ball? Did you actually think that you could succeed? And here's the best thing that PSG did. I'm sure you've seen soccer before. On the kickoff, a lot of times if you have the ball, you kick it back to the goalie, and he either passes it or kicks it downfield. PSG basically said, no, we don't want the ball. They kicked it out of bounds near the other team's corner flag and said, no, you throw it in from there. We're going to press you, play defense, force you to make a mistake, and then we're going to pounce. And within 4 minutes, scored the goal, 1-5-0.
Wow.
Couldn't have done that without any of those three lazy knuckleheads.
That don't like to play defense.
Not at all. So I was happy and felt, even though I didn't ever want to see PSG win, I was very happy and thankful.
With the way they did it.
Absolutely.
I'm not about just buying a championship and buying the best players. So I know next to nothing about PSG or this league that you speak of, but I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that they learned the error of their ways, and it's like, let's not just try and bankroll everybody.
You can't just pay for players and hope it works. You actually have to think about who you're going to get to play with other guys. And just because they're worth all this money doesn't mean you need to have them, and doesn't mean it's going to work.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up the Nets. The Nets did that twice. Remember they did that when they were like trying to redo the Celtics. They did it with KG and Paul Pierce.
They did.
And they're like, yeah, this is going to work. And then they did it again with KD, Harden, and Kyrie.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare too. And then the Suns were like, hey, that was a pretty good idea. Let's do that here over on the West Coast with KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker.
I just don't know how you think those are going to work.
They don't. People don't think. They follow the money.
Which is why that's kind of ended, and the NBA is in a better place. We're not going to talk anymore about the NBA today.
Or the soccer, because we did our soccer.
I appreciate you.
Or
Thank
football, as they call it. I'm a Renaissance man. So let's get back to really what's kind of coming up this week, right? We've got football on the brain. This is a finite resource that we have. So I'm going to squeeze as much out of this as I possibly can, because before I know it, football's bye-bye. And then we're in the desert of sports.
And we can get into any topic.
Any topic.
A lot more European football.
Oh, my God. I will be phoning those podcast episodes in. But it is one of my favorite times of the year for football, not only because of the Thanksgiving football games. You get 3 games, maybe 4 in the day, but it's rivalry week in college football. This is I grew up loving rivalry week in football. Of course, I grew up on Nebraska, Colorado. Sadly, that is no more, because that was a great competition every single, it doesn't matter who was in the standings. That was a game that we all kind of looked forward to.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think, even when the age of NIL and everything else, that this week still has meaning for a lot of these teams.
But it does feel like it's lost a lot of that luster, doesn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't have the shine it used to.
Especially now when, NIL, portal, college football playoff, it just seems to overshadow, I think, a lot of the importance of these games. And everyone's looking at, you got the conference championships, once again, the college football playoff. It's almost just looked at as another game, not as a rivalry game that you gear up towards and look forward to at the beginning of the year.
I mean, you're talking about like a lot of the guys that, especially like walk-ons, it's like they've been following this team that they're now a part of their entire lives. It was part of their DNA. And this game against a heated rival that you don't like each other at all, Doesn't matter if you're 1-10 or 10-1. This is the game that you circle on the calendar.
You have
and
to.
Oh, man, I can't wait to beat the living crud out of this team across the way from me. And it just doesn't feel like that with the NIL. It's like, again, we've talked about this, where NIL definitely feels like a lot of these players just feel like hired guns. They're like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get my stats, and then if I don't, it's not the end of the world because I know I'm a talent, I know I'm still going to get paid, and then I can always go to either next school or draft or whatever it is, or I stay here and I just keep cashing those NIL checks. And it just doesn't have the same, like a lot of what we used to love in the rivalry games, where that these guys playing for the love of the game or playing for the competition. And I'm glad they're getting paid in a certain respect. The NCAA is making so much freaking money off of these athletes that it only makes sense that they should get a cut of it because it's their likeness. But at the same time, it does remove some of the purity of these games.
I think a lot of it. I mean, even Nick Saban, one of the things he said was he doesn't feel like he's got players that want to play for not only just him, but for the program of Alabama. He's got guys that he just paid the most money for, and they're here. And if they don't get the playing time that they want, that their agent tried to orchestrate, they'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these players on these teams, I hate it. It's like Penn State. They got all these new wide receivers from all these different schools. These players are only here for about a year, and all they're caring about, like you said, is it's about what their stats are going to be. Do they have a chance of going pro? Are they going to get into the college football playoff? And yeah, that fan base is at the school will probably still talk to you. I mean, I'm sure in, Alabama and Auburn, it's, the talk is just, that game, Alabama versus Auburn. So there probably is a little bit of that, but these players just don't really care because they've been to like 3 different schools in 4 years.
It's almost like the perfect storm because NIL and then plus all of these conference realignments. It's like I talked about how Nebraska and Colorado is no more. That used to be one of the biggest games in the Midwest, right?
Yeah.
Oregon State, they don't have the rivalry game anymore because they're not in the same conference. It's like a lot of these long-lasting rivalries can't exist now because of these super conferences and because of the realignment that we're seeing. So they're just like, you guys are kind of geographically close. So Penn State, your new rival is what, Maryland?
That's awful. I hate that. Especially when you could have Pitt would be perfect. Yeah. West Virginia used to be a big rival. Yeah. But now you do have the Pitt West Virginia backyard brawl, which probably one of the most memorable games I have from a rivalry weekend was the West Virginia Pat White, Steve Slayton team.
Pat White.
All they had to do to play in the national championship game was beat Pitt. I believe it was at home as well, to a Pitt team that had won maybe 3 games. And Pitt went in there and beat them. But that's what makes the rivalry games so great, having them at the end of the year like this. And you still have a lot of them.
Not as much as you used to, though.
Don't. I mean, Oregon State, they did play earlier in the year.
But it's not the same.
It's just not, because it's like game 3 of the year. They're not in the same conference anymore. I mean, that even had conference ramifications. And that's what a lot of these rivalries had. They were in the same conference, too. I mean, how great, though, has every single Michigan-Ohio State game been? Not now, maybe it's either Ohio State wins 7 in a row, Michigan wins 4 in a row, but it's also those 2 teams have basically played to go to the Big Ten championship. Yeah. That's great that they're still in the same conference because a lot of these rivalries are no longer conference games anymore.
Right, yeah. Yeah, there's just not enough skin in the game anymore, right? But the other thing I do love about the rivalry games, which is something I'm thankful for, we're going to keep that in the loop, is the awesome trophies that some of these have. And a lot of the winners get these most ridiculous trophies. Like you've got Paul Bunyan's axe. You've got...
That one's kind of cool.
The spittoon.
What the hell's a spittoon?
You don't know? You know what a spittoon is? An old tobacco, like when you spit and you spit in the spittoon.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yes, that's called a spittoon. They've got the platypus, which I'm probably, kind of leading.
That's my favorite.
All right. Well, you kind of ruined my next segment. I was going to say, if you could win one of these ridiculous rivalry game trophies, which one would it be?
Well, it coincides with everything. Love animals, so platypuses are pretty cool. Oregon State, it's called the Civil War.
Yeah.
which that's my favorite war.
Okay.
As well.
History buff.
History. I have a team for every conference. So Oregon is one of my favorite teams. Mm-hmm. And so obviously wanted to root for them. But I don't know, that game, when they used to play it kind of in November, the bad weather, rainy or snowy, just made for a great game. And yeah, that was probably one of my favorite rivalries too. But I like the platypus.
You like the platypus, yeah. You love an animal. An animal as a trophy, that's all for. There's so many ridiculous ones. Like we talk about the Egg Bowl. We were talking about that offline. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. That's a ridiculous. The golden egg. You win a golden egg. Ooh, yeah. I talked about the spittoon. I believe that's Michigan State, Indiana. But there's the old brass spittoon. I think that'd be there. It'd be pretty cool to wield Paul Bunyan's axe. But I got to tell you, man, if I could win a trophy, because I'm thinking about adaptability and what else can I use it for? Give me the iron skillet from the TCU SMU rivalry, because then I can use my trophy, make me some breakfast. Maybe cook a little steak on my iron skillet trophy, maybe some pancakes.
Some steak and egg.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not only a trophy, but it has an additional use. So give me that iron skillet from SMU and TCU. I think it's fantastic.
I didn't even know they played.
Yeah. TCU Texas football, baby. Texas football. But, the rivalry games are awesome. I mean, I'll still get all hyped up and, jittery about it because, it's the perfect timing with Thanksgiving. A lot of the games are done on Thanksgiving Day. Some are done on Black Friday while everybody else is going insane shopping. I'll just sit in front of the tube and watch some college football games. And hopefully we'll see some of the glint and the shimmer of days past. But yeah, it definitely just doesn't have the.
I think Alabama Auburn is must-see rivalry TV because they have had some of the craziest endings, and the teams. Alabama's like always really good, and Auburn is sometimes up, sometimes down. But in those games,
they always come to play.
Bryce Young, Alabama looked awful all game. Auburn had like 2 wins all year. Drives them down like 97 yards in under 2 minutes, tie it. They win it in overtime. That kick six is always going to be, that's like the band on the field, Stanford Cal. Like that'll always live in infamy. Was it Jalen Milroe just 2 years ago or a year ago threw like a 4th and 27, basically a 4th and goal, and completed it at the end. Which, by the way, I do have a college football insider. Ooh. Penn State, their potential next head coach.
Ooh.
From one of the 2 teams I just talked about.
Oh, my goodness.
Kalen DeBoer.
No way.
I think there's a little bit of smoke coming out of there.
No, that's just gas. You're just getting a little flatulent.
My source seems decently confident about it.
All right, give me the backends. Why would he leave the glory of Alabama to go to Penn State?
I think it's just the constant, consistent pressure that is there at Alabama.
You don't think they're going to have that at Penn State? They just fired a guy that got him to the college playoffs last year.
He's been the coach for, 11 years, and this has been his M.O. Once again, kind of like with the Ovi talk, you really got to look at that playoff. They beat SMU, an ACC team from Texas. Not great. Then, somehow, some way, look, Ashton Genty, you're a really good football player. How Boise State got a bye, and they got to play Boise State, it's not a good football team. If they had played any of the other teams...
You sleep on the mid-majors. You give no respect.
I just didn't think they were that good this year, that year. And I don't think they're good this year. Once again, it's the NIL. It's why the college football playoff should just be less teams, because these players, if you're good at that school, you're going to go somewhere else. Kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament. I don't know why people want to try to open it up to more teams, because you're never going to have a mid-major do anything anymore.
Recently, it's always the Blue Bloods that are making that Final Four.
Because those teams like Butler, right, when they made it to the Final Four, Gordon Hayward, no way he stays on Butler. Yeah. Some team is going to offer him so much money to go up, but he couldn't, because you couldn't. You didn't get paid, and he had to sit out a year. So he was just stuck being a potential, almost an all-star NBA talent on a mid-major team that couldn't go anywhere, where now they're just going to bolt. So as much as I like Tulane, I bet you there's probably 3 or 4 of their best players that probably left after last year to go to a bigger school. And so they might have been better this year if they had them to compete with those big boys, but those best players left.
Yeah. Well, pipe dream, you keep slumbering off in La La Land thinking you're going to get DeBoer. It's Manny Diaz. I'm putting it on the staple right here. That's who Penn State's getting. So whoever your source is.
I trust my source.
Okay.
I'm also just really hopeful.
Yeah, you are idealistic in every sense of the word. But back to the rivalry games, man. So we've seen some, and I hope that the ones that are still holding strong, like Georgia Tech, hope that stays strong. Army-Navy, obviously, that's not going to go anywhere. So, I mean, if I really need to get that kind of spark, I can always lean and fall back on that one. Florida and Florida State are still strong as well, so I can watch one of those. But I feel like with all of the shifting, we need some new rivalries. We need some new blood in the water and something that has a little bit of an edge. Like Oklahoma, Texas would be perfect, but they don't play that.
That is always a scheduled game. It is always kind of cool when you have that rivalry game kind of leading that weekend in college football. But you're right, it would be better if they played with all the other rivals.
With the shuffling of the conferences, what would be an ideal new end of the year, last game of the year, all the cards on the table rivalry game that you'd want to see?
So I think right now, after having played twice last year, and the first game, Ohio State was pretty upset at Oregon for kind of running the clock out and kind of, technically they were in the rules, but kind of being a little shady. Yeah. And then Ohio State whooping Oregon in the playoff. I think there could... I really do. I think if that was an end of the year, I mean, Michigan is a big one. So
They're never going to change that.
So for Ohio State to have to
go back to back.
But man, I do feel like there's a rivalry kind of budding between those two, and especially if Michigan can't get their act together and it's kind of an Oregon-Ohio State conference, I would like to see them play annually towards the end of the year.
Yeah. I was trying to think about this, about new rivalry games that I'd want to see. I mean, I would like to see Alabama LSU as the last game that they play against each other. I would like to see that just because there's two powerful, they're always powerhouses in their conference, some of the best. And no disrespect to Auburn because they always play up to it. But especially if Lane goes to LSU with the ties that he has with Alabama, and he's going to talk smack the entire week prior to that game.
And I would love to see another 9-6 classic.
God, terrible. Why would you punish people with
that? Was one of the best college football games I'd seen in a while. Man, those guys were making plays, though. It wasn't like it was bad offense. They would drive, but it would just be interceptions or a missed field goal, and it was just who's going to come through in the end with some grit.
Some true grit.
And by God, it was LSU.
Yeah.
The force of Matt Damon behind him.
Matt Damon. Yeah. I mean, I do like a Texas and A&M, and I think that'll be a good game this year.
Oh, and right. My guy,
your boy Arch,
Marcel Reed.
Oh my God, you can't have more than one boy.
Who else is my boy?
Ty Simpson. You like Ty?
Yeah, but then when I really watched Marcel Reed play, and then when I said I thought he was, just as quick as I was, he's fun to watch. Yeah. I think he's going to. If I were a betting man, I'd put my money on him to win the Heisman.
Ooh, all right.
Because the odds are really good.
They're good, and if he puts up a stellar game against Texas,
and then he plays in the SEC championship game.
But the championship games aren't supposed to be considered in that.
They are. Okay. Absolutely are. It's going to be your boy versus my boy.
Ooh, Stockton versus Reed. Ooh, kind of want to see that.
And I think the winner wins the Heisman.
Don't jinx us. We got to beat Georgia Tech first, all right? Stockton's got to beat Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech's reeling. They just lost to some terrible team this past weekend.
Yes, they did. But you never say never. Texas A&M almost lost. How did they almost lose to South Carolina? And how do they come back from that? If you're South Carolina in that game, how do you not just pull right out of the script of Waterboy and just kneel 4 times on offense and just run the clock?
I thought that's what they were trying to do because they didn't do anything on offense. Yeah. They might as well have.
Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't believe that. It was one of those where I sat there at halftime, though, and I'm like, well,
You were doing the math. You're like, mathematically, I mean, if they carry the one and then they just, go for two.
Or simple, if South Carolina can put up that many points in one half, why can't Texas A&M in the second? Okay. I don't know. I felt like Texas A&M was going to come back, but I didn't think South Carolina would not score another point the whole game. Like, what happens at halftime? Yeah. Did they just think it was over?
Well, yeah, it's like they were playing prevent defense the entire time. They're like, just don't let up the big score. And then on offense, they're like, just don't turn the ball over.
It's the number 3 team in the country that paid $50 million for their football team. Do you think they're just going to come out and not try to win?
It wasn't a great move. And it's probably going to cost Beamer his job.
He might be better off going somewhere else.
Where would Beamer go? Now that Virginia Tech's gone, can't go back home.
I wouldn't mind him at Penn State.
Really? You want Shane Beamer at Penn State?
I don't think he's a bad coach. SEC's tough. Big Ten's not easy either. SEC folk, South Carolina, that's a weird school because I'm surprised he's been there that long because they've had some really good years. They really want to be a top, I think, program and just can't quite do it. And I don't think that's Beamer's fault. I just don't think they spend enough.
Think about the head coaches that came through South Carolina. Lou Holtz, Steve Spurrier.
They've had some good players come through as well. Debo Samuel.
That's my bike. Back on the Heisman, you kind of, already jumped out. You put all your eggs in the Marcel Reed basket. That is your front runner right now.
Well, he's not the front runner right now.
I'm not talking about what the books say. Your front runner. Who is your
Marcel Reed?
Okay.
Because he's got at least 2 really tough games left to play, and if he can perform well in both of them, especially if you're going up against Gunnar Stockton, and if you beat that team, the voters sometimes will just simply look at that if the numbers are kind of close enough, and if he plays well. I mean, that has to happen. But he's got the opportunity, and I just don't know if like Julian Sayin does. I think Mendoza's done at Indiana for the Heisman at least. I think his bland numbers, it's just not enough anymore. And Sayin didn't really do too great without Jeremiah Smith and his other top target.
Yeah, well, you lost Tatum, and you lose 2 like NFL caliber wide receivers. Of course, you're not going to do it.
But he does still have that Michigan game, and he will have the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, so he's got more opportunities.
I think it's really going to be. I mean, it sounds corny and it does stink, but basically the winner of the Big Ten championship game and the winner of the SEC championship,
whoever the quarterback is for that,
that's who's gonna win. One of those 2.
So you're pretty much saying that you think Marcel Reed's a front runner because you think Texas A&M is going to beat Georgia.
I do.
Okay,
that would be a great game too. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be like a blowout. I think that's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, that'll be worth
it. It will.
But you don't think that you don't think Super Saiyan can do it? Super Saiyan.
If they run the table and beat Indiana and he has some good games,
I don't care how minuscule Mendoza's stats are. If Indiana runs the table and they beat Ohio State, he's the Heisman winner.
His numbers have to be decent.
He can't go 150 yards, 2 interceptions. Yes.
Even if he goes like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, though, Sayin will throw for almost 300.
You don't think that him literally taking his team, Indiana, to the Big Ten championship and winning that game, you don't think that alone is enough?
His stats would need to be better than Stockton or Marcel Reed. I don't think right now if Georgia wins the SEC championship game, I don't see how Mendoza, even with 1 loss, I don't see how Mendoza beats Stockton.
Okay. I'm kind of on the same page as you. I do think that whoever comes out of that SEC championship game, whatever quarterback, whether it be Stockton or Marcel, they're going to be pro runner. It'd be great to see Indiana run the table. I don't see Ohio State losing to Indiana. So I think that Ohio State's going to win that game, and I think that Sands going to blow the doors off with 2 NFL caliber, and I think he's going to win the Heisman. I think Sands going to win the Heisman.
Okay. I'm team SEC over here.
Yep, and I'll be Big Ten. I'll be Dwight's mom, Big Ten.
I've always been an SEC kind of. I've always liked their run.
Teams in the Big Ten, you're a SEC homer for some reason.
I just liked seeing that dominance.
Yeah, you do like a good dom.
You're really painting a picture for me in these episodes. Fruit salad at the beginning of the episode. Big Dom in this one.
That's right. You are so confident Marcel Reed's going to float on to win that Heisman.
Maybe a little overconfident.
But speaking of things that are floating on, did you hear about this story that came out of San Fran about this. It's not even called a blimp anymore. It's called it's like an airship that was seen crossing across the Golden State Bridge. Did you
It looked like just in slow motion.
Just a big phallic floating blob floating around there. Do you know the background of this thing?
Not too much, but before we get into it, I just want to say my wife and I are about 3 episodes past an episode in Archer where they have an episode based on someone trying to get they don't call it a blimp either, but try to get that like as a mainstream thing. And it's like the Sky Captain of yesteryear.
Didn't Jude Law come out with a movie called like the Sky Captain of Tomorrow? It's Jude Law and Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, this is why I'm still the movie guru. This is why I'm still the movie guru. It was black and white, but it was made like, I don't know, 10 years ago. Seabear, you know what I'm talking about. Sky Captain of Tomorrow. Google it. I bet you that's what it's called. Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow. I feel like there was another.
We'll get our fact guy on it. Not our fat guy.
Fat. Got to get that hard C fact guy on this. Yeah, there's this huge blimp. It was apparently made by, I think it was like for a company that was run by one of the ex-Google creators. And he's super high on this dang thing. Not that pun intended, super high on it, because, it's a blimp. He's touting how it doesn't burn gas, and because it just uses lighter than air. They don't even use hydrogen anymore. Of course, we talk about blimps. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Hindenburg.
You'd really have to show a lot of different things. Because, once again, right? So flying, your plane could crash, but there's a gazillion flights. There seems to have only been one blimp, and that blimp crashed and burned. It's 1 for 1. So to kind of get this off the ground, to be in public knowledge, it's been about 100 years since the Hindenburg, and I don't think anybody is over that yet.
No, this isn't going to be a passenger aircraft, and it's called an airship. It's called an airship. It's called a Pathfinder 1, project by LTA Research, co-founded by one of the co-founders of Google, Sergey Brin. Sergey created this thing. They said that it'd be great for getting care packages to like places that are very difficult to get to because, they're just floating. They're not like zooming by. They're not dropping like care packages. They can float down. Great for rescue, cargo. This thing is huge. They said it's like over 400 feet
Twice
long.
the size of the Goodyear blimp.
That's massive.
It was huge. Where
are you going to land this thing?
That's what I was wondering. I mean,
does it just deflate? It's like,
but the problem is they're like, you could bring supplies to people that need it, and like I'm sitting there thinking other countries that are in the middle of a war, and this slower than molasses 400-foot airship.
Please don't burn down. We're on our way. Be there on Tuesday.
That video, it just looked like somebody just took a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge and then just had some fake blimp come through.
Was it AI? It was AI.
Yeah, it looked like AI.
Jeez.
This whole story is AI, isn't it?
It is. No, it's not. It's real. It's real. Or it's just the most convincing AI thing I've ever seen. But yeah, it's like, would you ever fly in this thing? Would you ever get in this thing? No matter, let's say it has 100 safe voyages, no issue. What would it take for you to get in this aircraft, this blimp? Or would you? Yeah,
why would I want to? What is it gonna? It's like a cruise ship, or gonna be games on there?
I don't know, maybe.
That's about the only thing I could think it would be like. A slow-moving cruise ship that might land in a beach somewhere and then pick up and take off again, and you've got fun and games going on.
It's very low on turbulence. Although, what one of those things goes into like a storm cloud? The lightning poppet? Is that possible?
I don't think this thing has legs. I think.
Well, they're spending a hell of a lot of money for something that doesn't have any legs.
I'll believe it when I see it, man.
I mean, you should love it. It's called a semi-rigid airship. You love things that are semi-rigid. So I think you'd get a kick out of this thing.
What did I do to you? What really? Have I done to you?
Really? You got to ask that. Do we need to go down that dark, windy road? No, but this thing's a trip, man. This thing's a trip.
So you'd get on it, no problem.
I would get on it. Absolutely. I've done other death-defying things. I've gone skydiving. I've gone... Really? Yes. I've gone shark cage diving. Yeah, you learned something new about being good at that.
No, you were such an adventurer.
Adventor, yes. Yes, I invent things? No. No, I love the, but this doesn't seem death-defying in any sense. In fact, it sounds quite boring. Like you said, it's like I get up there and I'm like, hey, look, there's the Golden Gate Bridge. Hour later. We're a little bit closer to the Golden Gate Bridge. So I don't think this would ever be something that you could use for, like, commercial flights. But, I mean, I could see where it's like, again, it doesn't burn fuel. It's much more, good for the earth. And it's like, you can hover in a space. So if there's something you need to get to below from a safety measure, maybe you could. But I'm not smart enough to think of the real life implications of how you could use
Yeah,
this thing.
I read the thing they're trying to compare how, how much fuel a helicopter uses. And I was like, okay, but a helicopter can, like, get in and out of places. It moves quickly. It can... What is this thing going to do? Where is it going to go? It's 480 feet.
It's huge.
I mean, and also, too, that video again. First after I thought it was fake. How could I couldn't only think of, like, the Austin Powers bit. Look at that big
It's a Johnson.
I mean, the jokes that they knew that video was going to have to... that people were going to make about that thing. But I guess I had to get it out there, show everybody about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, it got buzz. I mean, it got us talking about it. It got on the most popular podcast out there right now. It's talking about
Top 5 at least.
Top Fuego.
Well, that's another episode of Undrafted and Overconfident. Thanks for hanging with us, the two friends who've been arguing about sports for 20 years and still can't agree on anything. Hit that follow button, drop a rating, and be the first to email us at undraftedandoverconfident@gmail.com. And we'll see you next week. Different takes, same nonsense. Thanks, y'all.
Peace.